Good morning and welcome to Behind the Screen. I am Jam, and this is a show where we talk about games, primarily role-playing games, and we talk about things of beauty, goodness, and truth, with the goal to become better players, gamers, and ultimately, hopefully, better humans. Good morning to Grom and John Doom and James and Padre and Tink. It is good to see all of you. I need to take a second because logged in to get everything set up, and Streamlabs crapped the bed on me, logged me out of everything, and then decided that the only way I could stream was in YouTube vertical size. So thanks for that. And I think I'm going to work with Tink over the next couple of weeks to switch from Streamlabs to StreamYards. It's just a much simpler thing, but it's not the topic of today's video, nor a topic of any video I would ever want to discuss in any depth or length. Yeah, James, that's why I think I'm going over to StreamYard here in the next week or two. So, what what are we talking about today? Well, there's been a lot of discussion of the West Marches style of play, which is a style of play that was created by Ben Robbins back in the day, blah, 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 blah. And if you want to go watch great videos on West March's styles of play, Matt Colville did one, Kelsey Dione did one, Baron Durop has done one. Like, basically everybody has talked about this style of play. But to give a high-level overview of it, it's the idea that you have like 30 players. You have more players than you can fit around the table at any one time. You have no set play group or play schedule. The GM just says, hey, these are the days I'm available, and it's up to the players to tell the GM, hey, this is what I want to do, this is who's coming with me, and this is the day we're going to adventure on. That's the idea of a West Marches style play. That it is a player focused in the fact that the players are the ones who have to schedule, show up, and plan what they want to do in a session, and they fit in the GM schedule. It works well with a large group and with a group that is more flexible on time, right? The big bad evil guy of all TTRPGs, apparently, according to most people on the internet, is scheduling. And I mean, I don't have that problem. Like, we get together every Tuesday and Wednesday, barring my physical frailties, and I'm blessed like that. Like, I've got gaming groups that just meet regularly. But I like the idea of a West Marches game. And in fact, I really like the idea of it because we have so many people on like the Iconic server and other servers that I'm a part of that I don't get to play with very often. And so I started thinking about, well, what if I set up a setting so that at some point in 2026, I could run a West Marches style game, create a sub-server on the Iconic server or its own server for the game, and pull together 30 or 40 people who were like, yeah, I'd love to try this, and let them run with it. So this will be another series that will continue on, much like there are other worlds than these, because I'm going to develop the setting kind of here on stream, hopefully with input from you guys. But as I was digging into it, it's like, ooh, do I run Castles and Crusades? Do I run Shadowdark? Do I run Axe? And it hit me, I don't run nearly enough superhero games. And more importantly, I think a superhero game would work really well for a West Marches style of play. Now you may be thinking, well, JM, that's silly. Because part of the core of the West Marches style of play is town is always safe, you have to go out and adventure. Adventurers have to be kind of canny on what level they think how difficult the dungeon or the point of interest they're going to look at is going to be, so that they know to put a note in the call to adventure saying, hey, I want we need 4th level players, and I've done some research onto the rumors, and it sounds like there's a lot of undead. So does anybody have a cleric that can turn undead of a high enough level? And that's true. There something to be said about that. But I think that a superhero game would work for a lot of really interesting reasons. One, while we don't have level bands in most superhero games, we do have tiers of play, if you will. Everything from street level superheroes like Daredevil and Moon Knight, and the heroes that are dealing with gang violence and drug runners and low-level metahumans throughout the city. That's one tier of play. Then we have sort of the maybe multiple groups in a city that are, more of like the champions of the city. So much more of your Avengers level kind of superheroes. And then we could have, global heroes like the Doomguard, who are invested in, protecting the world. So we have different tiers of play, and it would be a lot of fun for people to show up and make 1 or 2 or possibly even 3 characters to share with us. When it comes to adventures in a West Marches style game, what you have are rumors and things that get developed through play. Same thing works in a superhero game. Hey, these are the rumors for this week. Dr. Destruction has been seen near Argus Labs, and it's rumored that these 2 street gangs are getting ready to go to war over a cartel shipment that was stolen last week. You can set up the rumors, again, with tiers of play that will allow your players to say, hey, we have to go deal with this. John Doom goes, the Huntsman really hates, the El Diablos. They've got a shipment coming into the docks. That's the rumor. Let me gather a group of people and go investigate that. Now, one of the other parts of the West Marches game is you have to have a safe base to return to. Well, in a city game, the idea is the city would be the whole of the campaign. However, with bases and safe houses, the idea is that the heroes would be able to come back and shore up and have a safe place in downtime, and then transition back into their secret identities to go about the week. So I think all of these things really would make a great West Marches style play in a superhero setting. One of the advantages of the GM, obviously, is I would just have to say, hey guys, here's the, at the start of the week, Sunday, say, hey, here are the nights that I'm available this week. Maybe do a schedule Monday through Sunday, and then on Sunday, post the next week's schedule. It's still, post the schedule, post the rumors, and now players don't have to act on rumors that they hear, right? Maybe while investigating the cartel shipment, the Huntsman finds evidence in a safe of a designer metahuman lab. Well, he can share that information when he gets back to the main supers channel, and maybe, Molly's Hell Kitten goes, oh, that's definitely something I want to go check out. Who's available on Thursday night to go, check out this designer metahuman lab or this underground metahuman fight club? You still have to not just plant your weekly rumors, but also secrets that the players can uncover as they're playing through the adventure. But the advantage as a GM is your players are going to go on adventures that they want to go on. So they're showing up invested in your story. They're telling you, on this date, I want to do X thing. So from a GM perspective, once I set the city up, and we'll talk about that in a second, once I set the city up, bam, I have player investment. I know exactly what the players want to do, which means I can prep the adventure that they want to go on. It means my prep time during the week is smaller and lightning focused. My Palladium game, I put prep time in, but you never know what your players are going to do when they come across a Jotun standing by a giant spear bridge who is attempting to be a troll and take tolls to pass over this bridge. Maybe your players decide that they want to challenge him to a series of 3 fights to see if they can just overcome him, and if they win, they get to pass for free, and the group ends up becoming friends with the Jotun and instead sharing a meal. Hey, Cripwright! Awesome, good to see you. So all of those things would make prepping a Supers game, especially if I did something that was kind of more mathematically intensive, like Ascendant. I would have time to prep everything in advance, which is great. I would have time that if John is recruiting for the Huntsman, which is, we'll say, like an Avengers level character, and Cripwright only has a street level character, but he's free on Thursday, that they can come to me and say, hey, Cripwright needs a new character. Can we carve out a half hour and make up his character? This is awesome. Like, I love this style of play. Now, another thing that's super important in Westmarch's games are factions. You need to have a ton of factions because it keeps what's going on in the dungeons and what's going on in the wilderness dynamic and engaging for emergent storytelling. A superhero city is rife with factions. You're going to have governmental agencies. Some are going to be generally noble and focused on things like justice and protection, things like Argus or Star Labs from the DC universe. Some of them are going to be more nefarious and not so great, like Task Force X, or the better known as the Suicide Squad in the DC comics. So you're going to have governmental agencies, you're going to have law enforcement, different types of law enforcement, right? You're going to have your GCPD with Commissioner Gordon kind of figure, but you're also going to have like privatized security for the rich, or you're going to have paramilitary groups that operate here. And that doesn't say anything about superhero teams who are going to have sponsors that are going to want their own things going on in the city. You're going to have villainous teams. You're going to have a variety of different gangs, cartels, triads, nefarious organizations. So I really think, like, looking at this, like, all of the joy of a West Marches style game, the superhero genre has a one-to-one analog. And I haven't seen anyone talk about doing a superheroes West Marches style game, which is why we're talking about this. And yes, I know that Cripwright has predicted all of this West Marches energy. I think he willed it into existence. So, super marches, is that what we're going to call this style, the super marches? All right, I'm in. Tink suggested it. John Doom seconded it. It has been entered into the records, what the records show, that this is now what we're going to call the style of game. Now, one of the things I want to do with this series between now and the end of the year is I will show up with a topic. I'm going to say, hey, we're talking about this faction today. Here's what I'm thinking. Get input from the players. And the goal is, after each discrete section, I will add it to a Google Doc that I will make available for you guys on the Iconic Patron Discord. Padre, that's a great question. I am going to make this, to start the new Helios setting, as system neutral as possible, so that if you or John Doom or Cryptwright or Tink or Mark or Grom want to take this and start running some adventures in there, go for it. I am going to be looking at Ascendant by Autark Games as my superhero game of choice for running this West Marches style game. And I will definitely, if people want to play in the West Marches game when I launch it and they know nothing about Ascendant, I will work with them to help make their character. But I'm actually going to be interviewing Wednesday afternoon of next week. I will be interviewing Alexander McCrease again to talk about Ascendant, because I love crunchy superhero systems, and I think there's something rewarding about digging deep into a system and you know, messing it up, like totally falling on your face while you're learning this moving forward. Now, I will say, if you like this idea, if you like the idea of a West Marches style game, if you like the idea of a game that has lore that is setting neutral in several settings for it, and you like Savage Worlds, I cannot highly recommend enough Pharaoh Mist by Cryptwright. I know that he and John Doom are running games in it, kind of developing it right now. It is for Shadowdark and for Savage Worlds. You can play games in it at GameholeCon. So I'm not going to say anything more, because I don't even know if I was supposed to say that much. But exemplar gaming right there, John Doom and Cryptwright. Inspired me to do this Super Merchant style game. So, want to give credit where credit is due. So yeah, I'm going to provide this for the patrons on the Discord for free. It's going to go up as a living doc on Google Drive, and as we add to it and change it, it's going to be available for you to take and run your own superhero games in. I don't know if I am ballsy enough to make it a living campaign where somebody who runs something, if Padre wants to run an adventure in Suede, and he can put it into the notes, and then those villains and that faction now get to be, you know, are a living world. I don't know if I have the energy, the creativity, or the sheer effing hubris to pull something like that off. But I'm open to it. You know who does? Cryptwright. Yeah, he does. Let's see here. Yes, you can play it at GameholeCon. Yes, such a nice match, and the energy of someone. Not just one new toilet, Cryptwright. 2 new toilets. And sinks and showers. I am a man refreshed by his restrooms. That is the energy that I bring every day, as long as those days are Tuesdays and Thursdays and I haven't had a seizure, to this stream. So, John Doom, I agree. Suede Supers is super easy to run. I mean, I love it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been like, yes, I will write some necessary evil stuff. Like, I love Savage World Supers. Cryptwright, if that web app comes together, like, let me know. We will see if maybe we can't find some way to do super merches like this. Because I do like the idea of a living campaign. Cryptwright is an inspiration. And also, if you haven't got to play in a game with Cryptwright, you should know that while his web services are what most people know him for, his humor is often unappreciated and always on point. I look forward to playing in a Pharaoh Mist game at GameholeCon. So, yeah. Sweet. See? Look at that. Already there, willing to help. So, that's it. That's the idea. That's the impetus for this, is that much like other worlds than these, I react to darkness by being creative. And so, I hope you guys will join me on this journey as we explore New Helios and see what comes of it. So, on Tuesday, we're going to go back to other worlds than these for a little bit. We're going to talk about a channel that I love, a couple of channels that I love that I think that if you're looking just for some gaming goodness and want people who are generally positive and talking positively about things, do some signal boosting on Tuesday. So, I react to the darkness. Yeah, that's probably true. I just saw Crypto right. I was like, I wish I were going to GameholeCon, but I have a good reason not to. Which I know it doesn't make us feel better about it, Grom, but when we're there, we will think of you. We'll raise a glass to Grom We are there. Because I do believe that I think it's scheduled. There's an event on Thursday night called The Doom That Came to Gamehole. Actually, it's just the name of that I gave to John Doom's flight as it flies in. So, yeah. That's... I cast magic missile at the darkness. Yeah, so that's it. I will see you all on Tuesday. I'm looking forward to talking with all of you about this. There will be a new prompt in the Other Worlds Than These forum, probably another dice. If you want to participate in the Other Worlds Than These chats, you don't have to. I hope that you do. At the very least, read them. There have been some great stories that have already been shared. But remember, if you comment, if you add something to the discussion, at the end of this month, I'm going to randomly pick one person who has been a part of that and send them, I think, the Blade Runner starter set by FreeLink. That's what I want to share and send out into the world. If they already have it, I'll share something else. But that's it for today. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. I'm JM. This has been Behind the Screen. I will see you all on Tuesday. Till then, have a good one.